new roads being built, and we are seeing intensive logging. The landscape we would like to see as a pristine, intact ecosystem looks much like this, just intersected with logging roads that provide access to poachers and access for just degradation of the habitat. So our 6% solution in the Russian Far East starts with some of the key protected areas. Here the yellow represents where tigers exist in the Russian Far East. The shades of green and red represent protected areas. And we, as a starting point, my organization has selected four key protected areas that represent some of the best areas where tigers exist today. And what we're trying to do is improve law enforcement in those areas to make sure that they represent inviolate areas where tigers could live in complete peace. We have a 4-point plan that we have begun initiating, and this is really just in the last year we've initiated this plan. The first point revolves around monitoring, implementing a system of monitoring law enforcement. Why is monitoring so important? Because it's the key to effective law enforcement. And for instance, in this protected area, we now have a way of looking at where patrols are going. We send out these people with GPS systems and a very simple mechanism for reporting where they go, and now we have a picture of what they're doing in terms of effort. And we also have a picture, because they're recording them, where the violations are occurring. This allows us to do something that's called adaptive management. So a manager of this reserve can look and see that his team, for instance, in April, covered these routes while they were patrolling. But in fact, when you looked at where the violations were, you can see that some of these areas where there's violations were not being covered adequately by the team. They can correct that so that in the next month, he gets his team out in those hot spots, okay, and starts to control those areas more effectively. So it's an on-the-fly way to manage what's happening out in your reserve in terms of your own staff, which was impossible in the past. The other thing this system does that's wonderful is it allows a manager to compare how well his different groups are doing. So in this particular reserve, we've got a northern group, a southern group, and what we call the KB group. And you can see that the northern group and the southern group seem to be pretty diligent about getting out, but the KG group seems to be slacking off from this March report. Well, this is where the second component of our plan comes in, because we have a bonus system that rewards these groups if they demonstrate effective law enforcement efforts. And so what we've seen in this process over the course of the 6 or 8 months that we've been implementing this program is a complete reversal of what I just showed you. We started out, we knew the South team was really the best team when we started out, and they were getting most of the bonus money was going to them. The incentive money was going to these people. But the North team had some pride, and they recognized that they weren't measuring up, and over the next 2 months, they popped up and they became